We're recording?
Yes.
Great.
Hello, one more time to this new episode. This time, the third interview of this podcast, and today I welcome the wonderful
Noah.
Noah.
Hi everybody. I I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm very happy to be here in this moment, and I just wanted to say, well, first of all, I'm an art student. I really enjoy art, and this is me introducing to you the what we're going to talk about today, meaning art exhibitions.
Yes.
Uh,
From the first moment I met Noah, I could feel this artistic energy, this expressive energy, and the topic that you chose today is
Art exhibition.
Art exhibition. So, what does it represent in your life? Art exhibition, and what impact has it?
In my life, to be honest, I've just recently rediscovered art exhibitions by myself because I come from a very artistic family. My mother is a designer, my father is an architect, and since I was young, I was always used to draw, and I was always brought to art exhibitions, to design exhibitions, to whatever art had for me to offer. So it's just
Natural for you.
it is not. But since I was a kid, and I always went to the art exhibitions, and that's not always as a kid. You don't always on a Sunday morning want to wake up at 7 and go to an art exhibition on the other part of the city, you know? You just want to sit, relax, and maybe, I don't know, play Minecraft. Something like that. So I almost disliked going to art exhibitions. But one thing I remember is that they were very boring for me because I didn't, obviously, as a kid, I didn't really understand or appreciate what I was looking at. So I just looked at it, I stayed there a bit, I didn't even read what the art was about. I just stayed there and looked at it, and then not even 5 minutes, I was already going to the Prochainaget. But just recently, I went to an art exhibition that really gave me curiosity. This art exhibition in particular is Niki de Sanfal, which is an extremely interesting artist, as her story, as her way of expressing herself and her story, and that it was like 2 weeks ago, not even.
Ah, okay.
It's very recent as a thing, and it really made me think about this because I went alone, and I was just amazed by how much just reading what the artist went through, what she felt, and what she made are just the same thing, you know?
The alchemy of
Yeah,
transforming a feeling maybe
yeah, exactly.
into a masterpiece.
Exactly. And I think what makes the masterpiece a masterpiece, it's the story behind it, not the actual thing, the visual thing. It's obvious. The visual thing, it's very important because it's art. Not everybody can read whatever the artist has to say. not everybody wants to read what the artist has to say. So it's very important, the visual part. But still, if you give time and you actually stay there and read all the biography and all the things that she went through to make the art, that's just mind-blowing, because as I said, when I was a kid I never did that, and just 2 weeks ago, now I'm at the age of 18, I realize that artists are not just people who make art, they're persons. As we are, as everybody is. They just they just have a different way of expressing their emotions by art. Art is medicine. It's something very important. And it's, for me, at least for me, it's very mind-blowing, this thing, because I don't know.
Yeah, the story, as you said, I think this is very human to like stories, because you can identify yourself in moments, more difficult moments, and how they face it, and they can get to inspire you in your own life to do the same with your own tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is why the stories.
Yeah, well, I think when you go to an art exhibition, whenever I get out of an art exhibition, obviously it depends on what art exhibition, what brought me there. Because, for example, if I go for school because I have to, it's not gonna be like, maybe I will really like it and I'll be very surprised that I like it. Oh shit, sorry. But maybe if I go there by myself, by my own intuition, that's what changes everything. Mm-hmm. Because when you do that, you already are more propense to listen to what the artist has to say. And whenever I get out of an art exhibition that I really liked, it's like, I don't know if you can comprehend that feeling that when you get out of the cinema and you just saw a brand new movie that maybe changed, even a sci-fi movie. When you get out of the cinema, you're still in that movie,
yes,
you know?
Yes, yes.
It's a bit the same. Like, it's the same thing with art exhibitions, at least for me, because
they make you think.
They make you think, and it's almost like you're still there. It's almost like you became the story. Something brought you there, and the story is just, I don't know. I don't know if I explain myself well.
Yes, the energy, you can feel it. And I guess it's not easy, as you say. It's not like you wake up every Sunday like, I want to go to an art exhibition. So what is the main fuel to move in that direction?
Oh, no. Oh, I explain myself a little roughly. So it's not that the fuel. Then when I said the thing about waking up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, I was talking about a kid.
Okay, okay. No,
now I could wake up at 4 if I could, at 4 in the night if I could.
Because you got to understand the value.
Yeah, exactly. And if there is something that brings you there, that almost is like...
Yeah, and this passion that you have now, how do you relate with other people? Like, is it the same to go to an exposition alone? Is it better to share it? How does it feel?
It depends who you share it with. For example, I went with this friend of mine, which is now a friend, but when I went with him, I didn't know him at all. And he's not very, like, he's artistic, but in another way. It's not as I am, as I see things in an artistic way. He sees things differently, like it's normal. And he never was introduced to specific art. So when he went there with me, I don't know what made me, but I started explaining him every single little detail and why I thought that person did that. And it was so interesting because it was the first time happening it to me, to actually understanding, like, subconsciously I always understand what the artist made and what the artist went through, but actually talking about it to someone else who doesn't understand the same, it's so incredibly interesting, and so just it activates your brain in such a good way that when I got out of that art exhibition, I was like, shit, like, first of all, I really like the art. Second of all, I'm almost proud of myself because I explained to someone that maybe didn't understand as well. I made my vision be his vision in that precise moment. And it's not much because I didn't make my vision to be everybody's vision whenever. But in that precise moment when we were at the art exhibition, he had a piece of my brain, and I was talking as freely and as I thought that it could help to understand.
Yeah, it was really your passion talking. It was like almost it wasn't you. It was
exactly.
something coming inside of you.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I don't know how to explain it. It just was all my experience about all the types. As an art student, you experience many types of, for example, of ways to draw, like many. For example, here I have some pastels or some pens. Whatever can become an art instrument. But as an art student, you just know, if you do it for a while and if you try many things to draw, you realize how the other person actually did that, like the exact same action, because you did it. You did the same action, and maybe it didn't go as well as the artist who made the art exhibition, because if it did, then I'd be the artist who made the art exhibition, but it didn't. But still, like, you have to give yourself time, and I think it's incredible. Art exhibitions just really, in Italy, many people, especially professors, like high school professors, that in Italy are very strict. Many high school professors say that Latin opens your mind. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Maybe not just in Italy. I don't know. Latin opens your mind. I think in the same way as for some people Latin opens your mind, as in that exact same way, art and experiencing and trying out new things opens your mind as well, just in another way. Because when you start, or I started when I was a little kid, so I don't even remember how I saw things normally. It's weird to say, but
now maybe your open-minded way of seeing life is just your normal life, normal way. It was, this transformation.
Art made me in some ways, because not in every way, because even whatever I experience in my life that is not always correlated to art. But not just that made me who I am. Art, oh my God, art made me who I am. How I see people, how I see world, how I express my feelings. Not even on paper, like a drawing, but even talking. Everything can be art. It's so weird.
So yeah, no, I'm for sure that art is something that works one side of the brain, that if you
Yeah.
don't work ever, it's like everything that you don't use eventually dies. Everything that doesn't move eventually disappears. So this
I don't think it's like that because art is like math. There was, I went once to a library and a bookshop, not a library. And in the bookshop, the seller was like 70 years old. And we started talking because I was searching for a book about art. We started talking, and in some way, he told me that he never, in 70 years, he never tried to draw, but he was always very, very drawn to it. Like, he was always excited to do that, but he never did it because he was fear, like he had the fear that he couldn't do it right. And then at one point he told me, like, at 30 years old, after he tried in every type of master class of I don't know how to say in English, corso,
like every
lesson.
every lesson.
He went to many lessons of drawing, and he never actually got to the point where he liked what he drew. At the age of 70 years old, he realized that art is like math, meaning it's an exercise. It's not that everything, if something doesn't move, it's not that it dies. In your brain is constantly moving. Even subconsciously, maybe you're not an artistic person at all. Let's say you're not at all an artistic person, but one day you wake up, you go to the bar, and you find there a piece of art which you really like, and then you say, well, I kind of want to remake it, and you say, well, I'm never gonna remake it. That guy is an artist. I'm not an artist. I don't think that's. But let's suppose that you take that piece of art that you really like, as a person who never draw, who never experienced making art. You take that piece of art and you start making it line by line, every single line perfectly, in the same way, every single color, everything. Maybe the first time it won't get exactly the same as the art, but it's yours, because you interpretare, come si dice?
You perceive or
You perceived, you perceived something interpreted, you interpreted something that you really liked in your way, even if it's a way that maybe it's not aesthetically pleasing. It's still your way, and maybe the next day you do it again, and it's just, goddamn, this time is better. And the next day you do it again, and it's even better. It's an exercise. It's like math. It's something logical.
and everything you have to give time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a process.
And nothing dies. Like, for example, in your brain, nothing dies, as I said. It's always moving. It's always, even subconsciously, maybe you don't care, but subconsciously.
Maybe it's just sleeping, but
Yeah.
it's still there.
Exactly.
It can
Exactly.
wake up. any
Like, for
moment.
example, this guy, he's 17 years old. 70. And he tried his whole life. And then one day he said, you know what? I'm not going to take any lessons, anything. I'm just going to draw one thing every day. So he started. First month, they were all ugly. Very ugly. Second month, they were starting to look a little better. Third month, he was like, oh wow, I have a pencil and I can actually draw what I see or what I want to draw without being scared of it. Without being scared of how it's gonna turn out. Because I know that whatever way it turns out, it's still gonna be mine and it's still gonna be art. Maybe just for me, but it's still art for me.
Maybe the most valuable transformation is inside.
Yeah.
Maybe your hand can move in one way or another in practice, but what is the real value is you yourself accepting what you do and accepting that is you who is doing it and not looking for any result or specific result of the art
Yeah,
itself.
exactly.
More like I'm enjoying the creating art.
Yeah, exactly. It's more the creative process than the actual result. This is just for the girls, for example. When you prepare yourself to go out, like you do your makeup, you shower, you put perfume on, you decide what to wear, you put your heels, and you're ready to go. It's actually more the process of doing that than the actual night out that is fun and stimulating the brain. Like, yeah, sure, dancing, it's fun and all, but making yourself, preparing yourself to do that, it's even better.
Yeah, it feels good.
It feels good, right?
Okay. Thank you so much for opening yourself so much, every detail, with so much passion described. Now you have the chance to ask me a question about any topic or related to this that you want.
Okay. Let me think.
First, maybe there is something else that you would like to talk about.
No,
And you think
But
some question that you would like to
I'm
ask,
just
to
sorry
answer?
for you because the topic of today was art exhibition.
No.
We didn't really talk about
No,
it.
first, because I actually, some weeks ago, we went together to an art exhibition, and I felt exactly as your friend that you described before. It was one of the first times that I entered to an art exhibition, and I couldn't really appreciate so much or wake up any deep emotion. But after 5 minutes, I started following you, and you started talking with so much detail and precision and passion about everything that I ended up like your friend, getting a portion of your brain, a portion of your vision, and I could really feel it. Now we listen to your side, and I'm the other side.
Yeah.
And it's true. You could repeat and copy what you have in you, leave it inside me.
Yeah,
Just a
it's
minimum
incredible,
essence that you can wake up anything in the future that I don't know, and it's just the power of passion
Yeah.
and the power of
Knowledge.
yes,
Knowledge.
sharing.
It's weird, but it's some type of knowledge that maybe it's not knowledge like intelligence.
It's not intellectual, but
Not intellectual, but still knowledge, and that's important.
yeah. So now what the audience is listening to it now, I felt the same way a few weeks ago, listening to you with so much passion. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I appreciate it every single moment,
So thank you.
even now.
So now the question.
The question
Yes.
is, would you ever be disposto? Come si dice?
Disposto.
Yes.
Non so. Aspetta.
Would you ever be interested?
Ok. Ah, sì.
And actually, would you ever want, just because one day you wake up and you feel like you want to do it, would you ever want to actually put on paper or on anything, on canvas or whatever you want, or whatever you feel, would you ever feel like making a piece of art for yourself? It doesn't matter if it's for others, it doesn't matter anything, just for yourself. Would you ever feel like doing that to calm yourself, or is it just something that maybe some people are more propense to do that?
I think it's something that I've never done until today, but I feel that I feel my growth and my expansion in different areas. This podcast today is something that I would have never done a few years ago, so I could never say what is waiting for me in the future. But I know I'm really open, and I'm really open to new things. So I believe, yes, I think it happened to me in other areas, not yet in artistic expression like drawing or other things, but it happened to me like dancing. I don't know, feeling like dancing, exactly that. Like, I want to express this, but dancing.
Yeah.
So why not?
Well, it's the same feeling, you know. It's the same thing,
It's
just
the
expressing
thing of
it
freedom
in other
and-
ways.
Yes. So I'm sure that it's just a matter of time for me to feeling like drawing, or feeling like painting, or feeling like designing. It's more a matter of me giving myself the chance to open myself. So yeah, if I do it one day, or when I do it, I will share with you, and you and
Well,
give me your
I'll be
feedback.
there to listen and look. Thank you very much.
So we can say goodbye in Italian. But well, you're half Italian, half
Canadian.
So what's
And even a bit Romanian. So we could say goodbye in whatever language you want.
you can say Spanish.
Okay.
Adiós.
Adiós.
Adiós. Muchas gracias
Muchas gracias
por escuchar.
por escuchar. You as well.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.